today being day 6 of the lockdown, and we continue to get you more such updates and multiple reports coming in, because over the next course of the fortnight, Republic Media Network will continue to get you reports not only from around the country but the best voices around the world as well, be it doctors, medical experts, scientists. So joining me here on the broadcast right now is Dr. Rajveer Purohit. He is the Associate Professor at the Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. Sir, very good evening to you rather. And if all the viewers joining us here in India and abroad, if you have any more questions, you can directly connect with us. The numbers flashing on your television screens, that is 022-6243-1010. Dr. Purohit will be there to answer your questions as well. Dr. Purohit, a very good evening to you. But if you're talking about United States, the mammoth fight against COVID-19, especially in New York, is intensifying because the state is grappled with over 59,000 cases, at least 965 deaths. It's nearing the 1,000 mark, sir. Your response?
I mean, it's awful. I think we got caught behind the 8 ball. We should have had a far more aggressive response much, much earlier. The United States knew about the first COVID case in December. In January 20th, we had our own first COVID case. And we are 2 months later, essentially caught unprepared. I think the central government or the federal government really has not had a strong, organized response as they should have. In some ways, what India is doing right now with this 21-day lockdown, the American government should have done as well way back when. So now, we're behind in testing. We haven't quarantined enough people. There isn't a central or a federal government policy about a lockdown nationally. So what we're left with is state governments are sort of creating their own policies and determining what their population will do. But unfortunately, people move between states, and you can't stop that. And so without a coordinated federal government response, America is suffering. As of now, we have 140,000 cases in the United States of COVID and over 2,500 deaths. In New York City alone, we have over 30,000 cases of COVID. In New York State, even a greater number than that. So my hospital is full of COVID patients. My wife, who's a doctor's hospital, is full of COVID patients. I think we really got caught on the back foot on this.
Absolutely, because this is a testing time, not just for all of us, also in the United States. And there has been an increase in almost 237 deaths in less than 24 hours itself. Dr. Purohit, please allow me to get our more callers on board. And I believe this morning we have Chintan joining us from Ahmedabad. Hi, Chintan. What is your question?
Hi. My question is, like, infected person touches the vegetable or fruits. Do they carry the virus with them?
They can. You absolutely must wash your vegetables.
All right, Dr. Purohit, that is one question that you may want to answer. Please, sir.
Yeah, no. So the question is whether we should be washing our vegetables and fruits and whether they can carry the virus. And the answer is most likely yes. You must wash your vegetables and fruits with a soap at least and make sure that the fruits are cleaned on the outside. And frankly, you should do this anyway. Any kind of vegetable and fruits could be carrying other types of diseases as well. It's absolutely mandatory that the fruits be cleaned appropriately prior to eating them.
All right, so there is a tendency, if you're touching other surfaces as well, the virus may survive that as well. So it is more important that you keep your hands clean and wash all those vegetables and fruits that you're buying. Dr. Purohit, another caller. We have Prashant joining us from New Delhi. Prashant, good morning. Your question, please.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Actually, my question right now is every pandemic comes in a wave, sir, first, second, or third wave, right? So in future, if there is second or third wave of coronavirus, so how can we prepare for that? Because every single time we can't go for a 1 month or 2 months of complete lockdown, right, sir?
Well, that's a terrific question. I think the question is really twofold. The first is, by the time the second wave comes around, I think we'll be better prepared for another infection. I hope we'll have vaccines by then. In addition to that, the population itself will develop something called a herd immunity, where people will carry antibodies people who've been exposed to the virus will carry antibodies. And these people will, in a sense, be protected against being infected again. So the combination of this herd immunity as well as medical advances will help. And the next time it comes around, it won't come around so severely as well. So partly, we're sort of caught unprepared. Most people have not been exposed to this virus, so it takes a much more severe form. In the future, it likely can come back, but I think immunologically we'll be more protected the second time around.
All right, Prashant, hopefully that answers your question. We have another caller, Pradeep, joining us from West Bengal. Hi, Pradeep. What is your question?
Hello. Good morning, everybody. I am from Kolani, Nadia, West Bengal. My question is, do common people who are going out, say, for marketing and other works, do they at all need any protective gear, say, mask or gloves? If yes, why? If no, why? Thank you.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think the question is a terrific one. I think it would be completely crazy to go out without protective gear. And in fact, I would say don't go out. The virus exists on metal surfaces, potentially for up to 3 days. It can exist on cardboard for up to 1 day. So anything you touch, you'll be exposed to. Anyone who coughs close to you will be exposed to. The only way to really protect yourself is to isolate yourself. Now, if you have to go out, and some people do have to go out, like doctors and people who do perform necessary tasks such as police officers, then you absolutely must protect yourself. Listen, at the end of the day, you're taking chances with everything you do in life. There's no reason to take a chance with this.
Absolutely. There cannot be any chance to rather go out and expose yourself. Don't take that risk at all. We have Madhav joining us from Bengaluru. Good morning, Madhav. Your question, please.
Good morning, Dr. Lee. I'm an asthmatic patient. So once in a month or once in 3 months, I'll get asthma attack. So that time I'll experience cold, cough, sneezing. So how to identify whether it is asthma or corona? What are the precautions to be taken by an asthmatic patient?
Well, one, do not go outside. Asthmatic patients are at higher risk for having severe respiratory complications from the COVID. So you have to specifically take extra precautions. This applies to diabetics or anyone who may have immunocompromised status or who may have any kind of respiratory issues such as COPD or what you have, asthma. So absolutely, you must take extra precautions. Do not take any chances with this. Now, that said, the things to look out for are fevers, which do not occur with asthma, or persistent, deeper cough that you may not have had, as well as a full body fatigue and malaise. So if these last for more, especially fevers, then it suggests that there could be something more than just the asthma going on.
All right. We have Mahadev also with us on the phone line. Mahadev, your question, please. Good morning.
Madam, see, I am a heart patient and I had an open heart surgery 7 years back. Then I am a cancer surviving and I have got diabetes. What is the present scenario? What precaution I have to take? Whether I have to go for any injection or something like that, I want to know.
One, I want to congratulate you for surviving through all of these surgeries. It sounds like you're a survivor. So you, again, if I heard the question right, you must take precautions, as should anyone else. But I think you're, particularly if you've had cancer and have taken chemotherapy in the past, your immune system could be compromised, and you're the type of patient who must isolate himself and not go outside at all, and really follow the rules that the government is setting on this. And you should minimize exposure to any other groups of people. So if you have family coming in to have chai or to have any snacks, you really should not let them in because you don't know where they've been. So you really, really have to protect yourself against the possibilities of exposure.
Dr. Purohit, you were also mentioning when it comes to the difficulties that you may be facing when it comes to a state versus federal kind of a tiff that is going on, because Donald Trump has extended the federal guidelines on social distancing. There isn't still a scenario of a complete lockdown, but it has been extended to the 30th of April. But you have health officials who are warning that more than 100,000 people could die from coronavirus in the United States alone, sir. How would you tell that about your response, especially when it comes to the differences that are being seen?
Well, listen, I mean, social distancing is just one step. At the end of the day, what we need to do is prevent people from moving from one place to another. And you can't do that without any without a more stronger governmental response. I mean, there's nothing that would prevent me from moving to, visiting a friend tomorrow in Minnesota, for example. The government is not preventing me from doing that. At the end of the day, it's not enough. With coronavirus, you cannot take partial measures. You have to, as painful as it is, and India is facing this pain right now because of this 21-day lockdown, you absolutely must take full aggressive measures to stop this thing. Partial measures only lead to increased spread of the disease. It leads to people taking it from one place to another place. There's no room for kindness in some ways in terms of our response. We have to go full force, and the American government has not done that.
Well, no harsh measures yet that have been taken on ground there. Dr. Purohit, we have another caller joining us from Mumbai. I believe Girish is there on the phone line. Yes, Girish, your question, please.
Yeah, ma'am. Girish here. Yeah, my question is, my father is 76 years old.
Yes, please go on.
He's a diabetic. Is it recommended for him to go for a walk, morning walk?
He should not, particularly in these next 21 days. It's tough to say if someone comes up to him and coughs anywhere near him. If he goes outside, he's going to touch the door handle, which may be contaminated with coronavirus. If he's living in an apartment complex, he has to touch the elevator buttons to go on the apartment complex. So how are you going to prevent those areas that could be contaminated from causing him to get infected? You can't. At the end of the day, the best protection for him is to stay home. I have a good friend who lives in Bangalore who just ran a marathon at home in his own apartment. So your father can certainly walk in the apartment and get some exercise that way. And I would encourage all Indians to do that. And if my friend Govind can run a marathon at home, I think your father can take some walks at home too.
Well, I'm sure even when it comes to going out for a walk outside is something that is not advised, and so is taking a walk in your society complex or in your society compound. That is also something which is not advised at all. What is clearly being advised and that is being said by the government is please do stay indoors. Well, we have another caller, Dr. Purohit. We have Vinay calling in from Mohali. Good morning, Vinay. What's your question?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I wanted to ask...
yes, Vinay.
Hello. I wanted to ask, we couldn't fight poverty and how we can tackle this COVID-19 about herbal or Ayurveda. Hello, I repeat.
Listen, I think the question is how are we going to fight COVID if we couldn't fight poverty? I mean, quite honestly, I think the Indian government's done quite well in terms of fighting poverty, particularly in the last 10 years or so, 10 or 15 years. The poverty rate has declined in India, although we could be doing better in India. And I think COVID is beatable in some ways. We should not lose hope about this. A lot of governments, for example, the South Korean government, what's happened in Singapore, these governments have taken aggressive, very early responses and have basically been very successful in controlling this disease. There's no reason that the Indian government cannot do this. And in fact, while it requires some money, it doesn't require that much money. It really requires extensive testing, requires quarantining, and it requires a strong central response. The Indian government can do this. Indians can do this. All of us can do this.
Absolutely, because right now it is non-negotiable if you're talking about the 21-day lockdown, all the more important that one actually just stays at home. It is as simple as that. We have another caller, Dr. Purohit. We have Baldev joining us from New Delhi. Good morning, Baldev. Your question?
Doctor, my question is, suppose every doctor is saying that we must wash our hand every half an hour.
No, I mean, listen, you have to wash your hands anytime there's a system. Yeah, no, you don't have to wash your hands obsessively, but you do have to wash your hands anytime there's a potential exposure to the virus. So if you go outside, if you touch a door handle someone else may have touched, you absolutely must wash your hands. But if you're sitting at home by yourself, there's no reason to wash your hands every half an hour, as long as you're not letting people into the house who are touching other things in your house. I think you have to be thoughtful about what you do, and I think it's really important if you go outside to wash your hands, and you have to wash it for at least 20 seconds and very thoroughly to make sure that everything is cleaned up. But you don't have to wash it if you're not touching anything else outside your house.
Well, you need to be mindful of that, what you're touching, what you're not, and not just water will suffice. You need that hand wash or the soap to kill all those germs there and to thoroughly wash your hands. Dr. Purohit, my last question to you, because all of the hospitals there need to work together, especially when it comes to various parts in the United States. What exactly are if shortage that your hospital may be currently facing? Because the Mount Sinai system is also setting up temporary treatment facilities. Can you tell us more on that?
Absolutely. I mean, I have to say, I would congratulate the administration at Mount Sinai. They were very forward-looking. We planned for this about a month ago. We've canceled all elective surgeries, so there's I specialize in transgender surgeries, and these are patients who've been waiting years to have the surgery done. We've canceled all of these surgeries, even though it's very painful for the patients to have this. So the beds were available. The second thing is Sinai has opened up other facilities. So we're converting our cafeteria to an ICU. We're converting a triage center in Central Park. We're creating a triage center in Central Park for patients. We've ordered hundreds of thousands of masks for coverage. We've ordered extra ventilators. Right now, Sinai has 1,000 patients with coronavirus in the hospital, and we're taking excellent care of all of these patients. I'm really impressed. And there's some very cutting-edge research on these patients going on that I think will move the whole field forward.
Absolutely. So we hope that we make it through in these difficult times there. Dr. Rajveer Purohit, who is the Associate Professor at Mount Sinai Hospital, are joining us from New York. Good night, sir. Have a nice night. It's going to be another challenging day tomorrow for you. But thank you very much for joining us and answering all our questions.
Hi, everyone. I'm Abhishek Kapoor. Thanks for checking out Republic World. If you would like to watch more show highlights and live coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And do not forget to download the Republic World News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.